श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रमाय सुदर्शन की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, 10th verse. उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानां वा गुणान्वितं विमूढनानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः। Translation: The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. Can you go to the next shloka, Prabhu? 11th shloka. Yatanto yoginaschainam paschyantyatmanyan avasthitam yatantopi akritatmano nainam pashyanti achetasah. Translation: The endeavoring transcendentalists who are situated in self-realization can see all this clearly. But those whose minds are not developed and who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try. So these two shlokas today we will discuss. The first shloka, Krishna, after telling Arjuna about how a soul changes the body, then he's mentioning to Arjuna that how a foolish person, the word is Vimhuda. Muda means foolish. Vimuda means very much foolish. So here he's telling that the foolish cannot understand the um, living entity, how he's quitting the body or what sort of body he enjoys. That way, if we see, we actually don't know why we are born, why we are born in a particular nation, particular family, in a particular condition. We have so many conditions to our body. Some are not financially good, some are not physically good because they have some problems to deal with. Some diseases, it may be sugar, BP, or some rare diseases. They have to go to the doctor every time, take medicines. Or some are not mentally sound also. Though they appear to be good looking, but the behavior would be different. Psychological problems. So there are various reasons, various ways people are born, and various bodies we are taking. So I'm just talking about humans. So similarly, there are different living entities who are taking birth into the animal, fish, or plants, insects. So why? Don't know. Nobody knows. So Krishna is talking about um, taking a body, you're quitting the body, you're taking the body again and again, again and again, under the spell of modes of nature. If you remember previous chapter, we were mentioning about how one has to move above these modes of nature. So that is required. And how it is done? Krishna tells that he has to be trained in knowledge. Receiving knowledge is not important. How you're trained. So trained knowledge means once you receive the information, how you're practically applying it. So that is called trained in knowledge. So Krishna mentions about here, Pashyanti Gnana Chakshushaha. So Gnana Chakshusha is very important. We all generally we understand that Gnana means Okay, we have to send our children to school, they have to learn everything, just like we learned, that is gnana. Okay, that is all fine, and they should get a good job. This is gnana, that is what the world thinks. But this is related to the body. The gnana, what we have received, is to survive ourselves. But we have not attempted or been inquisitive to get the gnana or the knowledge of the self, that is the soul, and how to get out of these miseries. First of all, many people do not believe in soul. There are many people who do not believe it in. There are others who, there are many who say that this is the only life, and there is no future birth also. And because they don't know the past also, this is the only life, enjoy it. Okay, you're suffering or enjoying, this is the only life. So as much as possible, you do this. There is a philosophy that whatever happens, it is for good. No, whatever happens, it's not for good. Whatever is happening, we have to understand why it is happening. So this is knowledge. So that way, Krishna consciousness and the Bhagavad Gita, if you see, it's not just a book, and it's not just there are the warriors meeting at the battlefield, and Krishna telling Arjuna to fight. No, there is a reason, because Krishna is giving the ultimate knowledge, the absolute knowledge. In the previous shlokas, we saw that Krishna mentions about another world where there is no moonlight, there is no sunlight. So you don't have to pay your electricity bill. Yeah, every time the bill comes, you're like, oh, this much I have used. Oh, this much water bill. So Krishna is telling that there's no electricity, there's no moon. So there's no moon means there's no night, right? So Krishna is mentioning these things to Arjuna, that that world is permanent and you will live happily there. So we are living here with certain conditions, and we are bound to do that, whoever it is. Um, like death can appear anytime, and diseases can appear anytime. We don't know. We have experienced ourselves. Many of our relatives or somebody, your friends, they would be all fine. They would go for a exercise to the gym or in the park for a walk. They would not have anything, any diseases, but all of a sudden they pass away either with a heart attack, or they pass away with some diseases. Something happens. Like a few days back, there was an accident which took place in Bangalore, where a company CEO, okay, he's a crorepati. The entire family got killed because of a container truck which fell on the car. The container is very huge. The long container, which has so much weight, it just flipped because of some incident thereon, and it flipped over that car. And whoever was there in the car, everyone got smashed. So all wives, children, the CEO, everybody died. What happens to the company? What happens to the wealth he acquired? Right? So we don't know what happens with our future. So what I have to do now, coming to the Krishna conscious process, I understand that I am subjugated under certain modes, and it's fluctuating. So I have to get out of it, and I have to understand what real knowledge is. I have to get trained in that. So that's why spiritual master is required, and we should get to know how to get out of it. So Krishna is very eagerly telling Arjuna that you have to do this. So in the 11th shloka, if you see, uh, Krishna mentions about you have to come to a level to understand this. He says the mind should be developed. So our minds are not developed, or we are self-realized to understand what situation we are in. So he mentions that endeavoring transcendentalists who are situated in self-realization can see all this clearly. So he mentions about this particular word, yoginaha, yatanta yoginaschainam. So yoginaha, as we have discussed earlier, yoga is related to not only body, It is related to the soul. Yoga to link ourselves. Today we are trying to do certain yogic activities, going to yoga classes just to make sure our body is fit, our mind remains calm because we have so much of distractions and disturbances. But Krishna is talking here something about not that this particular yoga. He is talking about those yogis who are self-realized. They will see the reality of life and they will try to get out of this situation. So they are always remaining in trance. Why remain in trance? Once you remain in trance, one is able to see as it is and he is able to realize the absolute truth very easily. So this is bhakti process. So Srila Prabhupada gave us this bhakti process just to understand who the Supreme Lord is, who God is, who is the Supreme Controller. So how can we get in touch with Him? So once you get in touch with Him, how you can go back or how He will take you back and how you can stop the miseries of life, how you can get out of the cycle of birth and death. So that is what Srila Prabhupada has given us. Sorry. So we need to understand the importance of these teachings. So reading everyday Bhagavad Gita is very helpful in this manner. Every time we have new realizations. So that runs in back of my mind because people are driven by the opinions. So today I see one thing, I have one opinion. Tomorrow I see the same thing, but I'll have a different opinion. So people are driven by opinions, and based on these opinions, we are taking decisions. So that is what is happening with everybody. And then some point later, we realize that oh, I should have done this way. This was not the right way. Maybe I should have done better. So that is what we are going through this wave in this life. But if you see our acharyas, they clearly put everything across in writing that bhakti process is the ultimate, and they preached that this is the ultimate goal of life, and there's nothing more than this. Okay, there's nothing beyond this. Krishna also mentioned about this in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, and another place that beyond them there's nothing. He says that beyond me there is nothing. So the ultimate thing you want to know is Krishna. There's nothing more than Krishna you want to know. So he is the absolute truth. So to know Krishna, we have to do so many things. We have to read, we have to chant, we have to engage our senses. So that way we are always remembering him. That is very important. And we should be very careful on the knowledge we receive. For example, there's a story that a rabbit was sleeping under a tree, and he got a dream that Earth is getting divided because of earthquake. The place where they live, it is getting divided. Everyone is going to die. So at that time, what happened is a big nut, just fell on its head. And he woke up and he panicked that really this is happening and he started running. So the rabbit started running, and on the way, he met various animals. And everyone were asking why you are panicking and why you are running. So he mentioned that there is earthquake happening, the earth is getting shattered, everyone is going to die. So everyone started running. So all the animals started running and running and running. But the lion noticed this and asked everyone, why you are all running? Sorry. So the animals told this is what has happened. Then the lion asked whether this is true or not. Who told you? So like that, it went on from what was happening and who was the first person to spread this message. So then the lion asked the rabbit, so where did you go through this? What was that? So take me through that. Okay, so he went there where he was sleeping. Then this is what happened. Something fell on his head. and he got feared. He got out and started running, and that's how all the animals were started to run. So why I'm telling this story is, you see these characters. So the lion and the animals. The lion was inquisitive to know what was the source of the problem. We do not inquire like that. We are living like the other animals, the deer or the peacocks or the monkeys who started running along with this rabbit. So we are living in a world like this where we also run just because everybody is doing something. Everybody is after something, so we should also follow that trend, that kind of fashion, that lifestyle. So we are all running through that, and we are realizing something. We never inquired, is this required, or is this something which is harmful, or is this really uplifting me from my realizations? So it's not happening. So this is one story which realizes us that we are living in a world where we are suffering. Okay, so Krishna, as he mentioned, that we are all suffering because of our own deeds. Why we suffer? Because of my actions. My actions, not just this life or previous life. We have accumulated so many karmas in our previous lives. We don't even know how many lifetimes we would have been like this, or we would have taken so many births after births, so many mothers and fathers. We don't know what we were. So some people go to astrology. I'm suffering like this. I'm going through this financial problem. I'm going through this health issues, and they want to know what exactly happened. So there is some portion in astrology where they just give a glimpse or an idea of, it's called predictions. Okay, so they say because of this might happen. It's not completely true, because the astrologer also even doesn't know completely what will happen or what has happened to that person in the past or future. Only on a guess basis we can tell. So that is one thing. But even if you see the person who is in Krishna consciousness um, doesn't require astrology also, because he completely depends on Krishna. And Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna that he can change anything. So Krishna mentions to Arjuna that the one who is favorable, I will make sure everything is required for his self-realization, I will provide him. And whatever is unwanted, I will remove. He will remove everything which is required. So he mentions about this. So we don't know our past or we don't know our future. It's just that we have to endeavor to become a perfect devotee, become a pure devotee. So we are trying on the path of becoming a devotee. So that is for myself. So I don't know about others, how much they have realized that every moment there should be a realization that the moment I'm living, I'm not sure what will happen next, but I have to live remembering Krishna. If you go through various, if you meet so many devotees, you'll realize, if you go to some dham places, you'll see so many devotees who have every moment they have realizations, that each moment they're spending, they want to realize more and more and more. They want to spend time just remembering Krishna. So that is what is happening. So there's one pastime about how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu liberates a crocodile. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, every day he used to go out for chanting and dancing. He would go to various places in Navadvip, and he would visit various of his associates and devotees. So it so happened once that he went to a Gwala. Gwala means the person who takes care of the cows. So he was grazing and he had invited to his house, and it was next to the river. He had fed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with nice prasadam, all his associates. So they had been to that place, and he told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after having the meals, after having prasadam, that the cows generally don't go to the river to drink water. Why? Because there is a fierceful, very big crocodile who has been living for many years, and these cows are scared it might eat them. So the people also were very scared to go to that river and take water or anything. Yeah, even cows also avoid it. Animals would avoid it. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood this and he said, let's start Sankirtan. So he started with the Sankirtan. He led the Sankirtan near the bank of the river. So listening to the Sankirtan, this crocodile came out. And the crocodile, when he came out, he went near Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu just put his lotus feet on the head of the crocodile. Immediately, it transformed into a beautiful personality. So this is something like Gajendra Moksha pastime. You might have heard how Lord Vishnu comes. He cuts. There's a fight between elephant and the crocodile. But here in this pastime, this crocodile is being touched by the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu, and it changes its entire appearance. So Mahaprabhu asked, "Who are you, and what exactly happened?" So he starts telling Mahaprabhu about his previous life. He says in about 4 yugas back. 4 yugas means so long. One yuga itself, Kali Yuga itself is 4,32,000. Double of that, triple of that. If you go back, so he says 4 yugas back in one of the yuga, I was I'm actually a devata. Okay, he says I'm a flying devata. So I was in I came to one of the forest in Vrindavan, Madhuvana, and there I saw this Durvasa Muni meditating. He was sitting under meditation, and he's a young boy. So this devata is a young boy. So out of curiosity and mischievous, he cut the tuft of the shikha of Durvasa Muni. Okay, making fun. He was under deep meditation. Now we know that Durvasa Muni is, gets very angry. He is known for his temperament. Okay, so he cursed this boy. Okay, how dare you, not only touch me when I'm in meditation, you cut my shika, you cut my hairs. So for a Rishi, two things are very important. In the previous ages, if you see, one is the shikha, the hair they will have, okay, on their head. And the other thing is the kamandalu they carry. Okay, the kamandalu, the water pot they carry. These things are very important for them, for their realizations. For some reason, I don't know the exactly, but this is what I have read in various sections also. So after this, he cursed, and that your mind is so crooked, you will become a crocodile. I curse you to become a crocodile. So realizing this, the Devata fell under his feet and asked for forgiveness. Because he's a young boy, so he asked for forgiveness. So then the Rasa Muni, then he composed himself and he calmed down and he said that, okay, do not worry, I cannot take back the curse, but I will bless you that the one who will liberate will be the Supreme Lord. So he will come and liberate you after many yugas. So for 4 yugas, you please be as a crocodile, he said. So for 4 yugas, he was living under the water only in the river where this Navadvip is, one of the river, and he was suffering like this. So Mahaprabhu listened to this story, and again they started chanting and dancing, and he got liberated. So why I'm telling this story is we don't know what our uh, previous births are. So it's ultimately when we try to realize, we may also get liberated at one point in time. Not necessarily that everybody has to get liberated at the point of death only. Even living, we will get liberated. Is that we will start exhibiting those qualities. Many of the devotees have, in the past, if you carefully read the past times, they have exhibited the realizations. So there's so many devotees who have realized and exhibited these qualities of getting liberated and becoming pure, but we cannot compare with ourselves because we are not currently living in that mood or that condition. Okay, we have not yet reached that stage also. So it's very superficial. Just because we come to temple or we chant, we should be proud that okay, I am a devotee. Okay, so that should not be there. We should be as much as humble as possible. um, so for example, the knowledge we receive, that is very important. And how we are going to utilize, that is very important. For example, Ashwatthama, if you see, he was the son of Dronacharya. He had been in a condition where he didn't even know what milk is. In his childhood, he cried for milk. He Because he was a baby, they were so poor. Dronacharya was so poor that he did not even able to give milk to his son. So mother would mix the atta, the atta we get, no, the flour in water and tell him that this is milk. You please drink it. Okay, this is our condition. So when Ashwatthama at the young age, when Dronacharya comes to Kuru dynasty and he becomes the the teacher of all the Pandavas and Kauravas. So Duryodhana, he gives him milk. When he drinks it, Ashwatthama tells, "This is not milk. This is not what my mother gave." So then Duryodhana says, "No, no, this is the actual milk. And whenever you're hungry or whenever you want milk, how much ever you come to me." So that is how Ashwatthama was. So that condition he was, and this is how Duryodhana took the confidence of Ashwatthama, and he helped him. So Ashwatthama had once, because of some trouble, he had prayed to Lord Shiva. He had meditated on Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva gave him the boon of Brahmastra. There were very few people who were able to throw Brahmastra on their enemies. So he was the only one to get this knowledge. Very few of them. So Ashwatthama was given this, this condition that you will be able to you will be able to get this Brahmastra only when you get very, very angry. Okay, this knowledge, how to get this, will be revealed to you only when you get angry. And we saw in Mahabharata that he, uses this after the, when the Pandavas' children were sleeping, Draupadi's children were sleeping, and he had killed them, and then he had tried on Parikshit Maharaj. Okay, so we need to understand that because of Ashwatthama's bad association, how he was not able to realize uh, the potency what he has, when to use it. So similarly, we will get into something where our knowledge is not be perfect, but we will get into bad association. There are two things. One, you will have very good knowledge, but you don't know how to use it, and you'll have some friends or relatives who will be there for you to spoil that. And there are few people you might not have complete knowledge, but there are people who are there to help you. Yeah, they're the right person. Like even Sahadev also. Sahadev knew the entire future. That means what is going to happen in the future. But he was also given kind of a curse that he will not be able to reveal to anyone. He cannot tell anyone. So Sahadev is, you know Sahadev, Nakul Sahadev of one of the Pandavas. He never knew what will happen. Sorry, he never told anyone what will happen in the future, but he knew what. So this was known to Krishna and a few of the people that Sahadev was blessed with it, but he cannot reveal to anyone. So if you see in Mahabharata, there are various characters we can understand their various realizations also. So today's takeaway class is we need to understand why we are living, why we are quitting. That anyways we'll get to know, and but where we will go we don't know. So our realization is to understand that from these various pastimes, why we have to remember Krishna, why we have to chant his names, why we have to keep calling out his names, so that we realize every moment, because we are drawn, our mind is getting drawn, it is being pulled every time by the modes. We are not properly situated. That's why we are getting pulled. If our mind is fixed, Krishna mentions is about this in Bhagavad Gita. The ones who mind who is very much fixed, his goal is achieved. So because our mind is unstable, even Arjuna accepts that. So he says stopping a wind is very easy, Krishna, but more than that, difficult is the controlling of mind. So 5,000 years back, when Krishna told this Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna argued about that of the yoga which he was trying to explain. So he says controlling wind itself is very easy, he says, but controlling mind is unstoppable. For us, leave alone, we cannot stop even wind also, we cannot stop anything. So we have to train ourselves so much, our mind, that I will fix my mind so that I can get fixed my consciousness on Krishna, okay, on the absolute truth. So that is what is required. So this is the takeaway, that at the time of death, I'm able to remember. At the time of quitting the body, I'm able to remember Krishna. But not only at the time of quitting the body, but to come to that stage, I have to every time remember him. Every activity I do, I should thank Krishna. I should remember him somehow the other way. So that is how I'll get realized. Okay. So I end my class here. I hope to see you again next week. Tomorrow also there will be classes every day. So please continue with these realizations. Thank you very much, all the devotees. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to all of you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.